Ricky, always good to see you, man. Welcome to Popternative.
Great to see you, dude.
Well, welcome back, I would say. I mean, you're on a show that every season just gets better and better than the other. Like, I always tell people this. Like, it's so crazy to think about. Like, just from a viewer perspective, what's it like, talking to people about that being someone on the show? Like, it's a pretty surreal moment, right? And feeling for you.
Yeah, I think I've been saying it's like we're a scrappy little show. We're the underdogs. I think that like if people haven't heard of us before, it's like every year that changes. More and more people know about us, and we just keep outperforming the previous season, and it's exciting to be a part of the journey of the show. We're all growing together.
Every season is a big season for Kenny. This is arguably the most emotional season for Kenny, with everything happening with his family and his mother. What's that like in terms of that script to screen journey for that kind of whole scenario with Kenny's mother? What's that like reading it and then kind of seeing that kind of happen on the screen for you?
Yeah, I mean, like it's so crazy because even the statement like this is the most emotional season for Kenny was unfathomable until I saw season 3, episode 1 script. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like he hasn't been through it already, and so there's this cloud that kind of goes over your head after you read that first episode, and you're like, oh fuck, this is really happening. And I posted on my Instagram my literal first reaction after I read the script, and I was just like a mess. I was just crying. I couldn't stop crying. I took a picture and I sent it to John just to basically say, hey, fuck you, John Griffin, for doing this to me and doing this to Kenny and to doing this to the fans. But yeah, I think it's such a powerful moment. I would argue like in like TV history, because you got I saw on Reddit somebody compared it to like the Red Wedding to Glenn's death in The Walking Dead. Like this is this for our show.
And then like you don't see it, but you see it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And maybe you will see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Spooky season has become so popular, right? That kind of like, end of September to like end of October, that kind of month span. Have you started to think about the fact that you're on the ultimate like spooky season show? Because everyone talks about the movies, right? But if it's like the first one that I would recommend, if someone's like, I want to watch a show on spooky season, like, I want to binge, I'd say From. What do you think about that? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's cool to be a part of the cultural zeitgeist of horror for that way, and I think that like I was kind of anticipating it in season 1. But maybe it'll happen now with season 3 being in line with spooky season in the fall. Like, I thought like we'd see a lot of like season 1 Kenny cosplays with the short flood pants and the scout's shirt and then maybe some Christie's with the medic shirt and the white long sleeve but it's cool. It's cool to be a part of the journey with everyone that's a fan of horror.
Absolutely. And last question before we wrap up. I mean, episodes rolling on MGM Plus for season 3 of From. Arguably the best season. I told you that season 2, but like, it's just insane. So much happens before you go to camera on From, right, Ricky? There's kind of the discussions, figuring out your reactions to what's going to happen. So in a lot of ways, from an acting storyteller perspective, you could see it as 2 journeys, right? Before filming a season of From, and then after, or does it feel like one big journey with multiple steps in between? I'm curious about that.
It feels like one big journey with multiple steps, and it's because we shot it in the beginning of the year and bits and pieces of December of 2023. It has been such a long journey that sometimes you've almost forgot. Like I just watched up to episode 6 yesterday, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, so much happens. Like, oh my god, there's so much coming up, and this season really doesn't let up, and it's cool to have a little space in between the season because I get to watch it with fresh eyes as a fan.
Absolutely. No, I'm so happy for you and the cast and the crew. It's so good. My favorite show on television. I always say this. Like, it's Popternativ's favorite show. We love it. From on MGM Plus. Ricky, so great chatting with you again, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Appreciate you, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.